Hare Krishna. So today we'll cover the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So before we start the 14th chapter, I'll just speak a line from a Sevaya. So a Sevaya is a kind of a uh, poem, or you can say a kavita, and which is usually used in Vrindavan, Nandgaon, Barsana, the area of Vraj, which is called the Vraj Chaurasi course. So the Sevaya goes like this: दाऊ दाऊ सब कहें मैया कहे न कोई और दाऊ के दरबार में जो मैया कहे सो होए. So the meaning of this Sevaya is everyone says Dau Dau, which is the name of Balramji, but no one remembers Yashoda Maya in that particular gathering. So the one who remembers Yashoda Maya is the one who is able to please Balram or Dauji. So I'll be using Hindi as well as English in this video. So for those of you who are English only listeners, I would suggest you start developing some Hindi skills in order to understand spirituality, especially Indian spirituality, a little better. Okay, so we'll come to chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita. Before we start, I'll just tell you the name of this chapter. So, chapter 14th of Bhagavad Gita is called the yoga of division of three gunas. So, this chapter is basically covering three aspects. So, we'll come to the title of the chapter, the yoga of three gunas, but I'll just divide the chapter into three parts. So, let me come to the first part of the chapter. So, in this first part, Krishna is beginning by saying to Arjuna that now I will tell you the knowledge which all the sages have attained, and through this knowledge, they have reached the highest perfection which can be attained. Now, Krishna is saying that in this entire creation, Krishna is the one who brings this existence to life. For example, at the beginning of things, everything is just basic. Everything is jad in the form of the entire matter. The creation is prakriti. So Krishna just brings forth the life in this creation by entering into the womb of the creation and giving the seed of birth to all the creatures on the planet as well as the entire cosmos. So, in this way, Krishna is saying that he is the seed giving father to the creation, and he brings forth things into existence. He transfers the Jad part to the Chetan part. Jad Chetan is something like something which is very stationary, which does not move at all. It's called Jad. But something which can move, which has an understanding, which has a brain, which has the subtle aspects of life, the faculties which are used for the most significant things in life. Krishna brings forth those faculties by entering the spirit into the matter. So, in that way, Krishna is the father of this creation, and the nature or the prakriti can be considered as the mother of this creation. So, now this covers the first part of the chapter. Then, Krishna comes to the second topic of this chapter, which is basically the title of the chapter, Three Gunas. Now, he's saying that the entire material nature, everything and anything that we do in this world, can be classified into three qualities. So, either we do it with the quality of goodness, which is called sattva, or we do it with the quality of passion, which is called rajas, or we do it with the quality of tamas, which is ignorance. So, out of these three, Krishna is enumerating the facts that sattva guna is something which is full of joy, which gives us freedom from entanglements, and which helps us move towards the truth, pleasantness, happiness. That all is called Satogun. Satogun basically is the quality of doing things for the sake of others, just ignoring your own selfish interest or motive, and performing action in order to serve the society, or serve other people, or to serve the God. Uh, so after Sattvagun, he's talking about Rajogun. So the quality of Rajogun is that it is called the mode of passion. So people who have a lot of worldly desires, they want to attain things in the world. They are predominantly in the Rajogun state. So Rajogun is basically you gather a lot of greed in Rajogun, and the end result of Rajogun is basically suffering. So let's say if the end result of Satogun is happiness, then the end result of Rajogun is suffering, because you may acquire worldly objects of sense satisfaction, but once the term of those objects ends, because everything is temporary in the world. So once that thing comes to an end, it will give you some sort of suffering. Either you will suffer because you have lost that thing, or you'll just suffer the results of those things in various different ways, which can be explained in some other scriptures. So we'll just cover it in a short way. So basically, Rajas is the thing in which you get into a lot of action, you get into acquisition mode, and greed, money making, all that comes into the Rajogun aspect, which is not a bad thing, but it is classified as the second quality. Now, lower to Rajogun is called the quality of Tamogun. So, Tamogun is basically ignorance. You can say that negligence is a part of Tamogun, not bothering about anything is a part of Tamogun, and there are many other things. So you basically do not remember things in Tamogun. Your powers, so to say, tend to deteriorate in the state of Tamogun. So Rajas is better than Tamas, and Sattva is better than Rajas. So, like this, Krishna is mentioning the qualities of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas in a detailed way. And finally, he's culminating the chapter, or he's bringing an end or conclusion to the discussion by saying that you have to understand these three gunas, but even if you acknowledge these three gunas, you have to go beyond the three gunas of material nature. Because till the time you are in this cycle of sattva, rajas, tamas, you still have not accessed that ultimate freedom or ultimate bliss and happiness, which is nirgun, which is beyond the three gunas. So Krishna is saying that uh, uh, a yogi is the one who is operating at a level which is beyond the three gunas. So, to which Arjun says that what are the qualities of that person who is beyond the three gunas, or who has transcended these three gunas? So, to which Krishna is saying that there are a few things I can narrate a little bit. So Krishna says that Arjuna, he who abhors not illumination and activity and even stupor when prevalent, nor longs for them when they have ceased. So someone who is not very chick chick about these three gunas when they are there in the present state, and someone who is not wishing for either of the three gunas like sattva or rajas or tamas for that matter. So that person who remains equipoised in the presence or the absence of the gunas is the person who is beyond these gunas. Krishna continues, he who, sitting like a witness, is not disturbed by the gunas, and who, knowing that the gunas alone move among the gunas, remain established in identity with God and never falls off from that state. So, someone who considers his being or his soul to be a witness to everything which is happening around him, and he is not the doer of all these, is the one who is beyond the three gunas. Krishna adds to it, he who is ever established in the self takes pain and pleasure alike, regards a clod of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold as equal in value, is possessed of wisdom, accepts the pleasant as well as the unpleasant in the same spirit, and views censure and praise alike. So, someone who sees mitti, patthar, and sona, which is a piece of earth, stone, or gold, in equal value. He who does not give regard to the worldly objects so much, he who is uh, equipoised in pain or pleasure, is the person who has transcended the three gunas, or who is beyond the three gunas. He who is equipoised in honor or ignominy, like अगर आप किसी की तारीफ करो या बेइज्जती करो, उसको दोनों में ही कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. That means he is beyond the three gunas. Is alike towards a friend or enemy. वो अपने दोस्त के साथ भी वही व्यवहार करेगा जो वो अपने दुश्मन के साथ करेगा. And अब इससे do not misunderstand this thing, like if you are being very good and friendly with your friend, and you also have to do the same thing with your enemy. So if an enemy is coming to beat you up, you have to retaliate, or you have to run off from that place, whichever is suitable for you. But Krishna is saying that the interiority of that person is not affected by uh, the fact that the opposite person is a friend of that being or an enemy of that being. He does not shake off from the fact that he is sitting in front of an enemy or a friend. That person is the one who is established in the state of nirguna consciousness. So, and has renounced the sense of doership in all undertakings, is said to have risen above the three gunas. Someone who has given up the sense of doership, like someone who has come to a point of realization in which he understands or she understands that they are not the doer of things around them or within them. Like they are not performing the action, but it is the three gunas which are moving amongst themselves and doing things, whereas the soul or the being, which is the true self, is just a witness to everything which is happening. He too, who constantly worships me through the yoga of exclusive devotion, transcending these three gunas, he becomes eligible for attaining Brahma. So Krishna once again is bringing the significance of Bhakti Yoga. He says that someone who is constantly worshipping Krishna through Bhakti Yoga uh, is able to attain Brahma while transcending these three gunas. And the last shloka, Krishna says, "For I am the substratum of the imperishable Brahma, of immortality, of the eternal Dharma, and of unending immutable bliss." So Krishna is saying that I am supreme bliss, and everything which you call happiness or pleasantness is emanating from me alone. So the purpose is to establish oneself in Krishna if our goal is to attain supreme pleasantness or happiness. So by this, Krishna ends the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is called the Yoga of Division of Three Gunas. So thank you very much, and keep practicing your spirituality through Bhakti Yoga or any other form of yoga. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe.